Good evening and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Hyperdeck in Focus, a program produced by the Press and Public Affairs Unit of the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission to keep you abreast of the activities of the Commission across the member states. Hyperdeck in Focus explores the various life-changing interventions of the Commission in the member states with a view to addressing ecological challenges and improving the living standard of communities hosting hydroelectric dams across the country. In our previous episodes, we have highlighted the milestone achievements of the Abubakar Sadiq-Yellow-led Management Committee from inception to date in the areas of safety on inland water transportation, youth transformation, provision of basic social amenities to the communities. In today's package, we will be looking at some key social interventions aimed at improving the socio-economic well-being of Hyperdeck communities. Follow us as we get updates from our reporters on these and more. I am Fatima Kaka Abdulsalam. Do stay tuned, we'll be right back. It is a common phenomenon that when people are well informed, the environment grows to become a better place for all to live. The educational sector in Nigeria, like other sectors, is greatly affected by a number of challenges, including poor funding, societal and cultural norms that does not support formal education. This is causing a major setback to advancement. As one of the primary objectives, the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission has taken a giant step to improve the quality of education in communities within its area of operation. Sydney Ehenacho brings us more details on this report.
It is the right of every child to be educated as future leaders. The educational sector, like others, has its problem immersed in the lack of funds, with the additional issues of economic, political, and societal problems. This is one reason for education interventions in member states of Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, Hyperdeck, under the Managing Director, Abubakar Sadiq-Yellow. Benue State, a member state of Hyperdeck, is equally faced by the problem of decent learning environment for students and pupils. This landmark initiative can be seen across various communities in states where hydroelectric dams facilities are located. The cheerful faces of locals rekindles hope that resonates with the need for timely supervision of interventions, as getting to see these projects is reassuring. Until the birth of Hyperdeck, it's usually a tall order to feel the government's presence in some of these communities.
They are doing the project, and it's of help to the community and even the children and to us, the staffs, because we can get more classes for the pupils and be comfortable. We appreciate the effort of the Hyperdeck. Yes, we appreciate the effort. We get a security man so that they'll be around in the evening after closing time.
For members of this community, this intervention is an end to a lifelong challenge of poor learning environments. In the same course, here in Sanga local government area of Kebbi State, We made a trip to this school to see the impact of the Hyperdeck project. The principal of the school was on hand to receive the monitoring and evaluation team. He expressed satisfaction over the work done, which he believes will have a long-lasting impact on the community. Furthermore, in pursuit of education, the Commission is not unmindful of tens of thousands of brilliant pupils who cannot proceed with their dreams of a future career by going to institutions of higher learning because they have little or no means to do so. To this end, Hyperdeck graciously sponsored students from 870 communities across the 6 Hyperdeck states to write the NECO GC examination, a gesture that rekindled hope in the hearts of students and a relief to their parents. The beneficiaries were drawn from Hyperdeck communities where the Commission is operating. With their impressive performance, the Commission is geared to do more. Sydney Iheanacho for Hyperdeck TV.
Fertilizer input has proven to be a key component in agriculture as it increases crop yields for farmers and now much more a huge contributor in addressing the global food crisis. It is worthy of note that the 6 Hyperdeck states situated in northern Nigeria account for over 60% of Nigeria's food production. This is why the management of Hyperdeck, led by its managing director, Abubakar Sadiq Yelwa, procured and distributed over 43,122 50 kg of assorted fertilizer to peasant farmers within the host communities as an intervention aimed at transforming agricultural practices from peasants to commercial farming. Zubairu Ali Bukar has more on the reports.
As Nigeria's population increasingly grows without a commensurate increase in food production and corresponding incentives to boost the nutrients of land, Nigeria's food inflation is currently peaking at 18.37%, with a projection that 19.4 million more people will face food crisis and food insecurity in the near future due to the current level of food inflation in Nigeria. The importance of fertilizer and its application cannot be overemphasized in response to the food crisis in developing countries, especially in Nigeria and in Hyperdeck host communities. Shortage in crop production also results in lower exports, thereby reducing the total export, leading to trade deficits, which have a negative effect on the economic growth of the country. In the recent past, this has been worsened by climatic change and insecurity, thereby weakening the economic power of farmers. These essential communities with a great number of population are in acute food insecurity, thereby rendering their life and livelihood to danger. It is so because their farmland had been overtaken by a resultant flood caused by operation of the hydroelectric dams that washed away the soil nutrients capable of crop yield and increase food security. The managing director, Abubakar Sadiq Yelwa, in collaboration with his management team, procured and distributed over 43,122 50 kg of assorted fertilizers to peasant farmers within the host communities as an intervention aimed at transforming agricultural practices from peasant to commercial farming.
We want to thank the Hyperdeck management for all they have been doing since its inception about 2 or 3 years ago. All the communities of the affected areas we have felt the impact of the IPADEC, and that is why we are here physically to identify with the programs and projects of the IPADEC. And we want to support you in prayers because we are fathers. We are here to support you in prayers, particularly the managing director and other management team, that the sky should be the limit during your tenure of office, because people are already benefiting from the project, and that is why communities are here mobilized to identify with you. And we want to thank you for the fertilizer distribution that our people benefited last year. This year too, we want to thank you for making it possible, because it is very, very difficult for our farmers to have access to fertilizer at subsidized rate.
On behalf of the government and people of Kwara State, I convey our appreciation to IPADEC for the commendable effort to support the people of our state with subsidized fertilizers. It's our belief that the average Nigerian household deserve all the support they can get by as the entire world struggle with inflation and socio-economic challenges. This is especially true of smallholder farming communities with their own peculiar challenges. For this reason, I specially commend IPADEC for this intervention, which will go a long way to improving agricultural productivity in our state, both food security and improve quality of life. Once again, I commend IPADEC for this initiative, and I urge all the beneficiaries to make judicious use of this intervention to strengthen their agricultural yields, with reverberating effects on the economic and quality of lives in our state. Thank you.
The managing director of the commission, Abubakar Sadiq Yelwa, says this effort complements the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, PFI, of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to enhance food security and economic independence of the host communities. Let's take a trip to how they rallied around the distribution of fertilizers.
The focus on agriculture is considered absolutely necessary because most of the IPADEC community are situated in riverine terrains and thus have agriculture as the mainstay of their local economy. Therefore, the most essential way to render social and economic support to people in IPADEC zone is to support their efforts in agricultural pursuit, and more particularly, to ease their ODs in terms of accessing fertilizer. For this year, the fertilizers were supplied by the contractors at the rate of 27,000 naira per bag. The commission management has decided to sell this fertilizer at 10,000 naira per bag. When we started the fertilizer distribution program last year, we distributed 82,000 bags of fertilizers across the 5 IPADEC states of 1,800 communities. Not less than 30 bags were distributed to ordinary farmers with 60% subsidy. Like I've said earlier, for this year, the commission has decided to sell this fertilizer instead of 12,000 last year to 10,000 this year.
In line with the foregoing, the 6 IPADEC states, to include Kebbi State, received NPK 7,219, urea 3,094, total 10,314. Kwara State, NPK 4,384, urea 1,879, total 6,264. Kogi State, NPK 3,271, urea 1,402, total 4,674. Benue State, NPK 1,840, urea 788, total 2,629. Niger State, NPK 12,878, urea 5,519, total 18,398. Plateau State, NPK 590, urea 252, total 700 respectively. The Hyperdeck boss also noted that the distribution of the fertilizers would bring about food security, food sufficiency, which may guarantee exportation of agricultural products for economic purposes to the targeted population and the country at large.
As they say, health is wealth. Today we bring you an emotional and eye-opening episode of the challenges faced by communities in accessing basic health care, and also witness the heartwarming efforts of our dedicated medical experts as they bring hope and relief to these vulnerable communities across the 6 Hyperdeck member states, to include Kogi, Plateau, Niger, Kebbi, Kwara, and Benue. Mubarak Bashir Lawal is standing by.
In a world where countless individuals suffer in silence due to their inability to afford medical treatment, Hyperdeck steps in to make a difference. From diabetes to hypertension, arthritis to malaria, our team stepped in to tackle a wide range of illnesses. But it doesn't stop there. The team further provided free medications, ensuring that even the smallest efforts make a significant impact. For those facing more complex cases or residing far from healthcare facilities, we arrange referrals to advanced hospitals and schedule life-changing surgeries. This incredible work being done is facilitated by Hyperdeck to transform lives and restore faith in humanity. The exercise was extended to adjoining communities where hundreds of residents, including women, expecting mothers, children, youth, and the elderly, besieged primary healthcare center to take advantage of the free medical services brought to their doorstep. The Commission also organized a brief lecture on safety advocacy for members of the community to further enlighten them on safety and preventive measures to live a healthy life. The beneficiaries received free blood pressure tests, sugar level checks, and free drugs for malaria and typhoid. Ophthalmologists and opticians also attended to patients with visual problems, while surgeries and medicated eyeglasses were being given outdoors and free of charge. The paramount ruler of the resident communities, the Brahmbe Rigbe in Plateau State, His Royal Highness Reverend Ronku Aka, retired, commended Hyperdeck for the interventions in its routine medical outreach to vulnerable communities across the country, adding that the beneficiaries will at all times remain grateful to the Commission and its management. The monarch maintained that the free medical service was a welcome stopgap in healthcare services for the adjoining communities of Plateau State, stressing that access to quality healthcare services from qualified doctors and other medical professionals provided by the Commission gave them a sense of belonging. Some of the beneficiaries who spoke during the exercise expressed happiness at the opportunity to receive such standard healthcare services at no cost and profusely thanked the Commission, participants, and medical and healthcare personnel for the exercise. Mubarak Bashir Lawal for Hyperdeck TV.
Without a doubt, the challenges are enormous. You can now begin to imagine the enormity of task ahead of Hyperdeck. Viewers at home, that's about the size of our package on Hyperdeck in Focus this week. Be sure to keep a date with us and follow this channel as we would continue to keep you informed about the activities of the Commission, detailing our numerous interventions in key results areas. Thanks for listening and bye for now.